Hi, and welcome back to Inspired Alchemy with Lizzie. This is episode 32, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to call it yet. It's just transmuting heaviness at the moment. I had a session this week, and as you all know, I do sessions personally so that I can keep up with my own self and my own emotions and transmute as much as I can with all of the things that I do that are coming at me, that I'm growing through. And it brought up a lot. And I cried before my session. Then in my session, I was okay. And it's the deepest I've ever dropped in. It was absolutely beautiful. I get halfway home and I start crying. And I'm like to the point crying where I'm like, oh, maybe I'm going to have to pull over. And then I pull into my driveway. And it was hyperventilating type crying. And lots of things came up, and I'm working through them all. So after my session, I was told, don't work, go home, and just exist, just be. And I was like, okay. And then it was pushed further. No. Go home, don't work, and just exist. And while I didn't work, I didn't fully exist either. And so yesterday came around and I was like, man, I feel pretty bad. I started to go down. It's a cycle that I have, and I've spoke about my self-sabotage loops before. I'm not going to not talk about them because we all have them, and there's no point in hiding the fact that even the most, I say healed, even though that's not the word I want to use, even the most healed person still goes into their cycles. May not stay there as long, it may not feel as heavy, or if it does, it can get out or easier. But yesterday, I just allowed myself to exist because I started to go down this rabbit hole of, am I doing enough as a mom? Am I doing enough as a human being? Am I doing enough as a friend? Am I doing enough in general as the person that I am? And so a lot of stuff started to come up. I had some awarenesses, even though I wasn't trying. I was just existing yesterday. That's really all I did, is I existed and I just allowed myself to be in the emotions that came up at the time. So there were some awarenesses and perspectives that shifted. I realized that a lot of the time, the reason that I feel like a terrible person when I'm more myself than normal, and while I've realized this before, it kind of hit differently yesterday, was because my mom was always trying to change me. She didn't like who I was. She wanted me to be somebody else. She wanted me to act a certain way. She wanted me to have a certain caliber of friends. She wanted me not to be weird. She wanted me to be the type of person that wore Sperry's. And even if you wear Sperry's, okay, but I'm not that type of person. She wanted me to be the type of person that had friends who had yachts and did this and did that and all this kind of stuff. But here I am, this weird kid who loves rock music, who loves metal music, who loves Halloween, all the spooky things, and hangs out with misfits. And she just couldn't understand me. I was way too much. I felt too much. I was too outspoken back then. I was just way too much of what she didn't want. And I don't blame her. I know that as a parent, you want your kid to do better than what you had. I totally understand. I get it. And I'm not telling you this story to diss my mom. I'm that old. I use the word diss. Yes. I'm not telling you the story to to say that my mom's a bad person, because that's not where I'm at. At one point in time, when I hadn't gone through this and healed what I felt, then yes, I probably would have told you that. But I see it from a perspective as a mother as well, that you want better for your kids. And she just didn't know how to show that. And she never moved past that. And so, again, I've spoken about how I don't speak to my mother anymore. And it was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make in my life. And I can speak about this without crying because I've done so much work around it. I know my mom was doing her best. She was a young mom, but that still had an effect on me of feeling like I'm too much, feeling like a weirdo, feeling like I need to dim myself in situations where when people started to get uncomfortable around me because I was, I don't want to say shining too bright, but let's just use that term. If I was shining too bright and people started to feel either threatened or like intensity from me, then I would just dim and I would go into my little shell and I'd be like, okay, well, I don't want anybody to feel bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and shove all that down in there. And I'm just gonna like be here and not exist like I did yesterday. I was existing in my emotions yesterday and I was not trying to fix anything because sometimes we need to stop fixing and we just need to go, you know what? I surrender to this. Whatever you're trying to show me, whatever you're trying to tell me, mind, body, soul, universe, I'm listening. But I'm not trying to fix it. And yesterday was probably one of the harder days that I've had lately because I'm just hardcore, like going into all of these layers. And so I was like, I really hope that I wake up better tomorrow. But I also followed my intuition yesterday. The ocean has been calling me, the beach has been calling me for weeks now, and I have not answered that call. And yesterday I was like, I have to do it. So I went, had dinner at the beach, and then it was dark, so the sun wasn't trying to kill me. And I just sat there. I sat there with exactly the mental image I had in my head. It was dark, my feet were in the sand, and I was grounding myself. And then intuitively, I knew that we were going to end up at, there's a local kava bar that we go to, and I knew I was going to end up there. It was super busy. I knew we weren't going to stay, so I was like, yeah, sure, let's just go pick up matcha and kava, and we can go home. And instead of staying up like I would normally, I was like, I'm not going to even try. I am going to go to bed. And then this morning I woke up and I felt better. And then I decided I had a vision of the outfit that I wanted to wear today. So I put that on. And I just followed my intuition throughout the day and I kind of knew where I was going to end up and how things were going to be. And it ended up being a really good day because I allowed myself to just exist and be yesterday. Was there a little bit of guilt around the fact that I wasn't doing anything for my businesses? Yep. Was there guilt that I hadn't responded to anybody in 2 days that had messaged me? Yep. But I needed to take that time I needed to take in order to recalibrate. And I feel much better today, much more like myself. And I tell you this story because a lot of us are told you can't stop. You can't just exist. You have to keep hustling and you have to keep grinding. And this is not like the other episodes that I've done on rest because you can exist and move through things. I've allowed myself to exist today as well, but in a different way than I did yesterday. I went through the emotions, I processed them, I understood what was going on. And I allowed myself to be. Today, I felt more empowered. I felt like I had the ability to step up, if that's the best way to describe it, and this new part of my evolution. And I just was. I just am. And it feels really good to allow myself to just exist. And these moments of existing are moments of integration. And even if you're just integrating energy you don't understand yet, it doesn't have to have words, it doesn't have to have meaning, it doesn't have to have anything. It's just integration of something. And that's okay. It's okay to say, you know what? I'm not going to answer my phone right now. I don't have the capacity to talk to anybody right now. It's okay, even if you feel guilty. It's okay for you to go, you know what? I want to go on this walk by myself because I don't have the capacity to hold space for anybody else right now. I just need to hold space for myself. And that's okay. It's also okay to say, I have plans, but I'd much rather do this other thing. I don't have the capacity to be around 300 people. I'm sorry, I can't go. Right? I know there are certain things in life that we feel obligated to do, and I'm not saying to like renege on your responsibilities. That's not what I'm saying. But if you decide, let's say there's a concert and you're just feeling really crappy and you feel like if you go to this concert, you might have some kind of a panic attack. This is where, and this is going to have to be a total different episode, but I'll touch on it quickly. There's a difference between not doing something because it's going to help you evolve and not doing something because it actually is going to hinder or make you feel worse. So if you have to go be around somebody that you really don't like and you're already at capacity, your cup is completely full, it's spilling over, you can't do anything, then don't go. And it's really hard to get to that point. It's really hard to get to that point of, especially if you are a people pleaser, you're used to taking care of everybody else. It's really challenging to get to the point where it's like, yeah, you know what? No, this is not for me today. Or on the flip side, going, this is actually what I need today. I had this planned, but I really just need to go to the beach and I need to sit down and I just need to exist and I need to hear the waves and I need to just sit with myself. That's okay. And again, it's not even about rest. I believe it's about following your intuition and allowing yourself to just be without trying to fix anything. There gets a point in time where you get tired of it. You get tired of fixing. So you just lay it down. It's okay. And like I've been told, it will be there tomorrow. So I know this is kind of a short one. This is where I'm at today because I know that so many people are feeling the heaviness in their lives. They're going through something, and a lot of people are having to lay things down. A lot of people are having to realize hard truths about themselves and their lives. And some people have support systems and some don't. And if you need a support system, we have the Inspired Alchemy Collective. It's what we're here for. We're here to hold space so that you can unravel everything, respectfully, obviously, and start to find your pieces and your keys again. This is why I do what I do. I believe that we all have the ability to do this work. It's whether or not we want to look ourselves in the mirror and say, I'm worthy of this work. I want to do this work. But I can tell you there's freedom on the other side. Am I going to tell you that it's all unicorns and rainbows all the time? No, no, no. It gets messy. It does. Find your people that are going to be there to support you without conditions, because they're out there. And as always, and I will keep saying it until I can't say it any longer, you are not broken. Your emotions don't make you a bad person. It's what you do with those emotions. It's the behavior that goes along with them that determines your character. You are not broken. You are able to do magic just like everybody else. You see people that you look up to and wish that you could do what they do in terms of healing and magic and manifesting and whatever it is that you want to call it. And you can. You just have to be willing to look yourself in the mirror and go, I'm ready for that. And it's not easy to do. And once those eyes are open, you can't really close them back. But again, thank you for being here. I appreciate your time. It is a precious resource that we cannot get back. And even if, like I've said before, sharing my story helps one person not feel alone, I'm going to keep doing it. No matter how messy it is on certain days, I will still be here. Keep creating alchemy. Keep finding your pieces. Keep finding your freedom and becoming whole, because you deserve it. And until next time, keep creating alchemy.